Hi, my name is Scott, and I'm going to show you how to use different oxygen devices. And the first one is going to be a nasal cannula, and this is a low flow device, and the flow range for adults is going to be 1/4 to 8 liters per minute, and for infants it's going to be less than or equal to 2 liters per minute. And the FiO2 range for this is 22% to 40%, and its FiO2 stability is it variables. And the advantages for a nasal cannula is going to be that you can use it on adults, children, and infants, and it's easy and cheap, and it's easy and cheap to use. And the disadvantage is going to be that it's uncomfortable, it's unstable, can cause dryness and bleeding, and it can easily get dislodged out of your nostril. And the best use for this is basically patients in stable condition and who need low FiO2, and home care patients. And first I'm going to show you how to put it on, and then I'm going to run through with the FiO2 calculation for it. So you're going to have these two prongs, and it needs to kind of mine is not bending, but it's going to be bending a little bit, downwards. So you can put it around your ears. Okay, and then it's going to go in like that, and then you could tighten it up a little bit from down here and loosen it too if you need to. Okay. Okay. And for the calculations, we know that we have 21% for room air. So for every 1 liter with nasal cannula, you're gonna add 4% to it. So that means you'll have 25% FiO2. So if you have 3 liters, you're gonna times it by 4%, and you're gonna end up with 33%. And when you have 6 liters, you're gonna do the same thing, and times by 4, and you're gonna have 24% plus your 21, and it's gonna be 45%. Okay, and then I'm gonna talk about the nasal cannula with the reservoir. So a nasal cannula with a reservoir, I have the book. I'll show you guys in a little bit. It's a low flow device system, and its flow range is 1/4 to 4 liters per minute, and its FiO2 is 22 to 35%. And it's also a variable for the FiO2 stability. And the advantages for it is that it's low cost, it's lower O2 flow, and also it has increased mobility for patients. And the disadvantages for this device is that it's unattractive and needs to be replaced regularly, and it's also poor compliance. And this device is best used for home care patients or home care or ambulatory patients who needs increased mobility. And the picture's right here, so I'll show you guys real quick. We have this one right here, and it has the reservoir over here. It looks kind of like a mustache. And then you have your second one right here, which has a pendant reservoir. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I'm gonna move on to simple mask, and that's this device right here. Simple mask. So this is also a low flow device system, and its flow range is from 5 to 10 liters per minute, and the FiO2 is at 35% to 50%. And this, for the stability of FiO2, is also variables. Advantages for this is that it's can be used on adults, infants, and children, and it's quick and easy to use, and it's disposable. It's cheap. And the disadvantages for this is that it's uncomfortable, and that it must be removed for patients must remove it if they're gonna go eat. And if they're unconscious and they end up vomiting, they can suffocate from it. So that can happen. And it's best used for patients who are short-term and emergency patients, and patients who basically, if they like to breathe from their mouth instead of their nose, it helps a lot. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put this on too. So you're going to plug this into the wall too, into the oxygen or the air. Oh gosh, okay. And then you're going to just put it over your head and over your ears. And then if it's not tight enough, you could also just tighten it right here. And then you want to make sure that it fits, so you can pinch where your nose is so it's on. And that's how you fit it. Okay. And the next one is going to be my partial non-rebreather, or a partial rebreather. let's demystify. It has a reservoir to it. So this one, a partial non-rebreather, it's a low flow device system, and its flow range is from 10 liters per minute or higher. The minimum is 10 to prevent the bag from collapsing, and that can cause the patient to suffocate on their own carbon dioxide, so you want to keep the bag inflated. And I'll explain later on like how to use it. But the FiO2 range for this one is going to be 40 to 70%, and the FiO2 stability is variables. And advantages for this is that it's easy to use, it's cheap and disposable, it's same as the simple mask. Okay. And also patients use it for moderate to high FiO2. And disadvantages is basically the same thing as a simple mask. Is like patients can vomit on it and choke, and they need to remove it to eat, and also they have potential to suffocate. And this is best used for emergency patients, short-term therapy that requires moderate to high FiO2. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna demonstrate how to use it. So when you plug it into the machine and you have it at 10 liters per minute, you want to check and make sure that the bag is working and the thing is working. So you hold this, and it'll inflate the bag. Once the bag is inflated, then you can give it to the patient. So it goes on just like the simple mask. Yeah, okay. So it fits like that over your ears. Oh no! Okay, well, I'm gonna use the same one for your non-rebreather. And it's almost the same, but so for a non-rebreather, it's also a low flow device, and the flow range is still minimum to 10 liters per minute or higher to keep the bag from deflating. And the FiO2 range for this one is higher too, so it's 60 to 80%, and the stability FiO2 for it is variables. And advantages are just the same too. It's easy and cheap to use, and children and adults and infants can use it. And the disadvantages is that you can suffocate on it, you can have it on, vomit and then choke. Yeah. And the best use for a non-rebreather is basically emergencies and short-term therapy with high FiO2, and patients who are like in a fire, they can have monoxide poisoning and they would need this. So yeah. Yeah, I already showed you how to put it on. Well, you put it on the same, but I'll show you again. Oh. And with a non-rebreather, it's gonna have another little part right here which covers it. That's what makes it a non-rebreather. So yeah. Okay. And we're gonna move on to air entrainment. This is an air entrainment mask, and I'll simulate after I'm done explaining. But this is also known as an AEM and a Venturi mask, and this is a high flow device system. The flow range for this is greater than 60 liters per minute, and the FiO2 is from 24 to 50%, and this FiO2 stability is a fix. And the advantages for this is that it is easy to apply, it's also disposable, and it gives you the precise FiO2, which is fixed. And disadvantages is that it's only for adults, so you can't give this to an infant or a child. And it's uncomfortable, it can be noisy, and you must remove it to eat as well. And best use for this is for patients who are unstable, who are in unstable condition, who need precise FiO2. And to put this to put it together, you have a corrugated tubing, and it goes into the end part of the mouthpiece or the mask, and then you have these little they're jet plugs, I think, and this one is 35%, and it gives out 8 liters per minute. You can see it right there. It'll tell you, and they have different sizes. So this one will go at the very end, and then this is the AEM collar. So you have it like this, and then whatever gas device that you're going to be using, or like from a wall, or you might have something else, you can plug it in through here. Okay. And then you also just put it over your head just like the other masks. Okay, just like that, and you want to pinch this top part as well. Okay, and that's how it works. Okay, I'm gonna move on to, let's see, tray collar. Okay, so this is a tray collar. This is also a high flow device, and you attach it to a large volume nebulizer. And the flow range for this is basically 10 to 15 liters per minute, and should provide an output of at least like 60 liters per minute. And the FiO2 stability is that it's fixed, and the range is going to be 28 to 100%. And the advantage for this is that it provides temperature control and also extra humidification. And disadvantage for this is that FiO2 is less than 28% and greater than 40% is not insured. And FiO2 varies with back pressure and a high infection risk. Best use is for patients with artificial airways who need like low to moderate FiO2, especially for patients that have tracheostomy. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to put this on too. So basically, this goes on the tray. Patients will have their surgery with their tracheostomy, and you can like tighten it, and it's gonna go like right there. So yeah. Okay, and next one's gonna be a face tent. This is your face tent. And this is also a high flow device system, and it attaches to a large volume nebulizer as well. And the flow range is going to be from 10 to 15 liters per minute, and the output flow is going to be about 60 liters per minute. And the FiO2 range is going to be 28% to 100%. This also gives a fixed FiO2. And the advantages for a face tent is that it provides temperature and extra humidification, like temperature control and extra humidification. And the disadvantages is that high infection risk and FiO2 that's less than 28% and greater than 40% is not insured. Yeah. So best use for this is for patients with intact upper airways, for patients that are burn victims or who have like burn around their oral area, and when that's basically it. And then I'm gonna show you how to put it on, and then I'm gonna go to your oxygen blender. So this is the, hold on 1 second. Okay, so the face tank goes like this, and then you could tighten and loosen it too, and then oxygen comes in through. Okay, my last one is O2 blender. This is my oxygen blender. Okay, so this is also a high flow system, and it provides an output flow of at least 60 liters per minute. The FiO2 range for this is 21% to 100%, and its FiO2 stability is that it is fixed. And the advantages for it is that it gives a full range of FiO2, and disadvantage is that you need 50 psi of air and oxygen to use this. And it basically, sometimes it's like common, it's inaccurate, and you have blender failure. And best use is for patients with high minute ventilation and who need an high FiO2. And yeah, so like patients of neonate in use and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you how to use it, or what it is basically. So you're gonna have it sideways, and you can have 2 Thorpe tubes and flow meters, and you connect them to here. And yeah, so basically you can have your air to oxygen right here on the sides, and then this is where it's going to connect to the wall of your generator for medical air inlet or oxygen inlet. So yeah, and then you have your you can change your FiO2 from 21 to 100. You can also, as soon as you put your flow meter on, you can add a bubble humidifier and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you have a good day.